You know, people ask me sometimes, Ken, how do you get these ideas, for these little projects? I like putting the dogs, I like putting their heads on springs so they wobble a little bit and they can wag their tails. Hi, Sparks. You got to be right in the middle of everything, don't you? Anyway, people ask me where I get these ideas. And, I don't know these ideas. They just fall out of my head. You got a little cowboy, so you got to have cowboy boots. You got to have a gun belt, and he's got to have his, take some big nails and make him some pistolas. And you got to have a hat and this and that and the other, and a mustache made out of the butter knives. And like I said, the ideas just kind of fall out of my head. But once I start building, I've explained this before, but once I start building these things, these pieces of art, they will speak to you. They will tell you what they need. I'm just putting this thing together, and it said, no, Ken, you got that one leaf's too high. You need to lower it down a little bit, so it just looks just right. Just ever so it's kind of balanced out, and you got to have those leaves down there where that bare place is on that stem over there, and then they kind of follow this form on up the shovel and the round corners of it, and the stem kind of follows that, and on and on, and they will tell you what they need. This one's telling me that this piece right here is too vertical. I don't like that. I've got to heat that up and rock that back a little bit, tilt that back, and then it'll have a much better form. That just doesn't look right. So you see what I mean? They'll talk to you. They'll tell you what they need. And I've got something else I'll show you out here. We'll just go on. We'll go on out back. See, on Novelist 10, he's got the eye. He's got the eye too. Look at that. He built that for me last year. Built it and then came and gave it to me. Bless his heart and his liver and his gizzard. He's a pretty good old boy. I like old Novelist 10. See, I went to a yard sale and I bought a whole bucket full of silverware. Actually, that bucket is not a bucket. Actually, that is, I believe, a container that comes off of a hand crank type old-fashioned ice cream maker where you crank it and put the ice in there and all that. So out here, I've got a little disorganized here, actually quite a bit disorganized here, but another question people ask me is, where do you get all that stuff? Well, people find out I'm doing this and they bring me stuff. They save me stuff. They save, my neighbor brought down all these flail mower blades because he thought that I might, his words were, use them in some artistic way. This I did a little swapping for all this, or bought a whole trailer load of stuff at a guy had at a yard or a car show or something with some tractors and things he was showing. But anyway, most people would look at this, oh man, I just see treasures. But most people would look at this and say, man, what a pile of junk, Look at this old conduit. Well, I look at that conduit, I see a snake, I could make a snake out of that. For out of these ashes the phoenix will rise.